So tomorrow is the day that the new anniversary She-Ra Barbie comes out. And I can't believe I was kind of on the fence about getting it. I guess I don't know. It's like I'm gonna talk through this. That's what this video is. We're gonna look at some of my collection. I've got so many like superhero dolls and so many things I have to consider. I do have a doll that they made. They made a She-Ra doll before, and it was made by Mattel, and it was like an anniversary Comic Con, but it wasn't an official She-Ra doll. And I didn't really like the doll. The packaging was amazing and everything, but there's just the doll kind of look like a man, and I don't, I don't. I don't know. I didn't really like the body. There was a lot of articulation on it. It's a pretty cool. It's an action figure with hair. Hair drives me crazy, though. And oh yeah, that's a new realization and probably an Instagram post that I did take some pictures for, but never put up. I'm having a hard time keeping up with Instagram. But I think I don't like dolls. I think I like 1970 or 1960s futuristic action figures, 12-inch action figures. I think that's what I like. That's what I think about when I make my mashups, and like I'm trying to recreate those really cool 12-inch action figures from the 70s, or I'm sorry, why do I keep saying the 70s? From the 60s, and maybe even before, I guess, no, from the 60s, where they were robots and they did things, and a lot of it was based on Japan and GI Joe, and it was, and that is what this creation. That is what this creation is, and I guess why I need to put these hard-headed on. So what I did was because I am thinking about, do I get this, do I not get this? I guess I have to. Mattel is my favorite toy brand of all. Oh, we have to talk about that too. Do I segue into that right now? Yes. There are all these Mattel 80th anniversary things coming out, and I'm so excited to get those. And there's so many different ones, and it's mostly the packaging. But right now, I'm at this point where, first of all, funds aren't very high right now. Secondly, I'm trying to get rid of as much stuff as possible. But these things are so... I love how they're packaged. Would I open up any of them? I don't know. 80th anniversary. They're all red. Red's my favorite color too, and they're all like based on the Mattel logo Starburst, and they're red. And there's what are the ones that I can think of? There's Hot Wheels cars that I don't really like the styles that they chose. But again, the packaging looks so good together. There's the one that if I had to choose just one, what I would get, I think it's the Fisher-Price pull string telephone done in red. It's just so adorable. I think that's the thing that might be the one that I get that I want the most. However, weirdly, that one's not available on Amazon. Out of all of the ones that are available on Amazon, one that is available in Canada, one that's available on Amazon in Canada that's not other places, is the Polly Pocket set, which is just $14. There's a Barbie, then there's two more deluxe Barbies, which they look more like Christmas dolls to me. And they don't really have the same kind of packaging. The Funko's doing a lot of stuff too. That stuff doesn't count. There's Uno cards, and there's I don't know. But then there's these basic things, but then there's also these things on top, like there's a commemorative Masters of the Universe 2-pack with the standard like original vintage figure style with just the 5-6 points of articulation. And there's more, and I kind of like this is like the next anniversary, the next big anniversary. I guess 75 is a big anniversary. I guess 80 is a big anniversary. But I'm going to be really old by the time they have their 100th anniversary, and maybe there's not going to be another opportunity for me to have this collection of greatness. And I wish that they would have done more things with more vintage things, like Fisher-Price Adventure People, and there has to be a Little People commemorative set. Yeah, they're definitely going to do that. They just haven't shown it yet. I know that Barney, which is a new property from Mattel, is getting lots of hype on as a Mattel property. I don't think Barney was a Mattel property before. I wasn't like looking at toys back when Barney was popular. Let's get back to She-Ra. So, me like creating these like 1960s, how I see them. The envision I have is a 1960s futuristic space lady. I don't know how to astronaut lady. This is kind of what I have, and in my head when I design my own toy line, this is kind of. Now I'm not going to tell you the other things, the other secret patents that I have and the ideas that I would have, but I guess it kind of looks something like this. But anyway, yes, like robots and aliens and space and 12-inch. Where are all the 12-inch action figures? I guess that's what I'm really missing. All right, so what I did was I took my favorite. This is like the WWE body is what this is, out of all of the bodies that have come out throughout the years, and also what are easily accessible or were easily accessible for me to get. It was just this body. I like the proportions, and it's not perfect. The hands are a bit big, the forearms are a bit big, but the articulation I think is enough. For me, in fact, I like that this amount of articulation doesn't interrupt with the sculpt. So this, and then these are color reveal heads. So sculpted, molded on hair, where I don't have to worry about the hair. Like just looking at this doll hair, this She-Ra doll hair, Comic-Con. Sorry, I don't know what year it was that she came out, but if you go San Diego Comic-Con She-Ra doll, you will find her if you Google it. But the hair, frizzy, sticky, it just these problems. I mean, this is good quality hair. It's just I can't, like, you have to comb it, and then something happens. Like if it breaks when you comb it, then it just never looks good again, and then sometimes it's just I can't deal with it. And then you're taking a picture for Instagram. One of the other reasons why when I take pictures for Instagram, I struggle with that. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna show you these. We're gonna come back to here, but I have to talk about Brooklyn and the superhero body and everything. So I think when I weighed out all of the, like, I guess I'm kind of unhappy with this She-Ra, which we'll talk about in a second. I got all of my WWE color reveal She-Ra versions of the one that did come out. I got all her clothes, so she came with lots of clothes, and I have them all in here. But the new Barbie comes on the superhero body, or do they call it the superhero body? You know better than I do. I've never had one of those. I've collected lots of dolls that aren't Barbie that Mattel put out, like these WWE ones that aren't official Barbie. They just call them Mattel. They just were Mattel dolls. I think they were probably more pointed towards boy collector line than they were for the dolls. That's another thing about this She-Ra, is that I see so much interest in it. I'm worried about it selling out. I've never seen both sides. Like, I see all of these, the man nerds that are into Masters of the Universe, they are even excited about this Barbie. And it's kind of a big deal because it's the very first time that Barbie and Masters of the Universe have made a doll. So it is a big deal. So for me to even question not getting it is important. So and the doll community is really excited about it. Okay, so it's on the superhero made to move body, which you would think would be similar to this one, but take a look at this body. So this I can show you here without bringing out a made to move doll. This belt didn't fit on my. She's a bit thinner. She's a bit. Would I say grotesque, which is probably I'm body shaming. There's probably going to be a lot of body shaming in here because it's nothing personal, and I'm not humanizing these things. It's just like I'm making I'm creating the perfect toy, aspirational superhero, looks like a toy, still fun to play with, but also at the same time, it's not like out of like proportions that are unachievable. That's kind of important to me at the same time. So both toy like, and like there's a lot of thought and a lot of like my personal interests, and a lot of that goes into me choosing and putting together the perfect Mattel mashup for me. It's also important that everything is Mattel. So Playline belt on this, WWE shoes. This is the new Barbie Basics black outfit, so it's a top and a skirt together. This is perfection. I want this combination in every color so that it can be mixed and matched, and you can wear it as a dress, or you can swap it and match it with other things. Like this is the perfect thing I've been able to find so far. I think I talked about in one of my last videos where this is not the belt that I wanted. I just wanted a simple white sleek 1970s fat belt, and I wanted her to have go-go boots instead of these sneakers. But I mean, she's an astronaut for modern times, even though based on 1960s futuristic space. That's what I want. So you can see that this body, it's slim, really buxom too, which, I mean, the WWE dolls, one of the reasons I like them is because I like their more feminine, curvier proportions. Why don't I have one here that has no clothes on? I was supposed to. Oh, I actually do in this. Will I get to? Yeah, I'll show you that in a second. Or I guess I can pull one out. Oh, I can pull this one out. It'll be good enough for. This is one in Wonder Woman gear. I've been noticing, and I've kept my Wonder Woman dolls in with my She-Ra dolls because the body is so close. But this is a unique body that they made specific. Garrett Sander made this, I believe. Yeah, designed the doll, and his brother did the packaging. The packaging is the box part of this is my favorite thing, but I really just don't like the doll proportions and her superhero muscles. She looks more like an action figure. In fact, she's got all of the articulation of an action figure more than a doll. People do mix that up and dolls are only supposed to have 5 points of articulation. That's all they ever had. It's action figures. It's when they gave made to move bodies, which are action figure bodies, to dolls. But it looks manly. It looks. I mean, if she's a superhero, she should look like this. Anyway, so back to Brooklyn and Barbie on a superhero body. So they have made other dolls that have superhero bodies. And I've never had one of those before. I've not been interested in getting like I don't know what does I guess they do both Marvel and DC depending on what year it is and what Mattel's working on. But they do have this new made to move superhero body. I guess a Black Widow, if I'm remembering correctly. I think it's only less than a handful of dolls that have actually been made on that body. So this She-Ra comes on this body. So it's basically a simplified made-to-move body. It does have, like, the very first Buff Ken is on, which, I should have all of the dolls. I should have screens coming up of what I'm talking about. But hopefully you're in the know. I'll try to explain what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go over and pull one out. But before there was a Buff Ken, there was a Mattel body made that has exactly the same proportions, and it was the Superman and Batman versus Superman movie is what they made it for. And one of them has gloves, one of them has closed fists, so you have to change out the hands to make them look good, which I had done. But it has an elastic. What triggered this was both of these superhero movie dolls that they made, and they have made to move joints too, which is really cool. And I like made to move joints on Ken dolls because it like her, it cuts it up. It cuts up the body and makes it more masculine and muscular, like it looks like muscles, and it doesn't, I don't think it translates very well to a made to move girl body. I think that especially with the thinner proportions, I mean, it can look robotic. This one I like. I go back and forth towards liking this and not liking this, but I do like it. I like it today. Today I like it. I put shoes on her, but this robot articulated leg, I can't. But the action figure, this is a recent action figure. So when you have these really spindly thin arms, sure they can look robotic or alien, but when you cut them up even more, they look even more robotic or alien. So she's got slightly less articulation on this one. So where was I going with this? Okay, there's also a made-to-move Brooklyn body, which they made for her, which was when they introduced her, a darker complected Barbie with the name Barbie. They gave her a darker complected skin, but they also gave her a more muscular body. However, she's not more curvy though. Her body is actually more blocky from what I know of it. I don't have one of those. I'm thinking I have to get one of those too to compare. I really should have that. I do know that all of the made to move bodies I have decided to get rid of. I don't even want to keep one for you, which I've always wanted to keep one so that I could try clothes on or shoes on that don't fit onto my dolls with giant feet. I do have lots of shoes from different superhero doll packs, but oh wait, this is the wrong. I swapped out her legs in an experiment. I forgot about that. She's got Wild Hearts crew feet on. But she's fitting into these Wonder Woman boots perfectly. Here, let me show you on this one. This is my favorite mashup. But you can see that the foot and a regular Barbie foot. Oh, I can't take her shoes off very easily. Yes, I can. Is very, very different. Much, much bigger on these WWE feet. But I find them so much more proportionate, and they're very, very similar to these ones that they put on this She-Ra doll. So her boots do fit on. So yeah, Brooklyn, I'm gonna have to get one of those Brooklyn made to moves. A lot of people actually have said I should get one. You should look at it. You're gonna like it. You'll like that body because it is a made to move body that is a little more muscular, but the superhero body is also a body that's made a little muscular. So here is the She-Ra stuff on one of my dolls because they do have the similar sized feet. That these cloth boots, look, these are red cloth boots. They're what I'm looking for from the mini brands, the red boots that I still haven't been able to find. Those mini brand boots won't fit on these dolls though, unfortunately. They are still too small. They fit on the Wild Hearts crew. I have noticed one of the things that makes me not even want to keep this set at all. Maybe I should sell the whole set. It's probably worth a lot. I mean, I've played with it maybe too much, and I've noticed that this is I don't know what year it is, but it's over 5 years old, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry I can't tell you when I got this. It was a long time ago, but this is starting to disintegrate, the pleather. So I do know that it's stretching out. It's not in the best shape on both of these boots. And so you can let's take a look. So here's the Adora outfit that I have on her with I don't know what weapon to give which ones, and I had to heat up her hands. I've only recently realized that I could pull the WWE hands off if I heat them up. So sometimes I do that. I did that this morning so that I could check out these outfits. I mean, she looks so good in here, especially Despara is who she looks like, is a new name for Adora when she was the Evil Horde. However, it is a bit tight on her because you did see how slim this girl is, but the material is quite stretchy, but it's probably not good for it to be so stretchy. But they are basically the same size. Also, her head is really small, so none of the crowns none of the She-Ra crowns can I use with my hard-headed action figure hybrid dolls. But it is fun just to look at her, and she does look really, really good. I mean, these boots look so good, but they're going to be destroyed if you keep putting them on and off the doll's foot. So I don't know if it's better just to sell. Maybe I just wait. I've been knowing that I was just going to sell this body as it is, but maybe I'll just sell the whole old She-Ra Comic-Con set because it's not perfect, and I think I'd rather just create my own, and which would probably be a good segue to this. So you can see on this one, have I been doing this whole video with my glasses on? I need to see this stuff better that I'm talking about. So this is this is the doll. So She-Ra was an action figure doll hybrid back in the 80s when it first came out, and this is the outfit. This is inspired by the outfit that 6-inch doll came with. So it's more of an action figure with cloth goods on it, is how they made. But they did give her rooted hair. But this is kind of more of the outfit she looked on. But you can see that these Wonder Woman boots, they match perfectly to this colored torso she has on. And then she came with this shield, and there were all these swords. But, so you can see that this is much more like a sword. Yeah, I can't decide. They gave so many different varieties of swords. It's hard for me to decide who gets what sword, which style of She-Ra gets which sword. But I kind of liked how ethereal she turned out. Even before I put on this red cape, though, she looked even better. So it was like some other kind of goddess form, which kind of reminded me of the Netflix She-Ra, the newer one that they revamped, and because of these technology boots and stuff. So I kind of did like this look. And with her white hair and the white flowy skirt, kind of looks pretty spacey coolness. So that's really cool. Again, these vac metal cuffs. Oh, that's another thing that I wanted to touch on. Even though this is really good adult collector high quality stuff, I do find just playing with it a little bit, like I said with the boots, I can see that the pleather is wearing out. And then vac metal is something that I don't like either, because you got to be careful with it. This stuff actually does chip and scratch. I think that I am very careful with it, but I think the chips and the scratches, you can see that there's like a joint discoloration there. So mostly really good just for display pieces and not for playing. I feel that the new Barbie one, oh, and let's talk about that too, since we're talking about the cloth goods. The dress looked really ribbony, and the quality didn't look as good as this stuff, but the quality of this one looks so much better. The material is like this pleathery material, but I can see that it's going to disintegrate over time. It's already showing its age. This white piece is holding up better, and I think that is common as well, as because different colors of the same plastic will definitely disintegrate in different ways. But I notice that the other one is more embroidery on this part, and the material that the dress is like, this is like a fake leather, and it looks really, really good. The other one is ribbony. She couldn't fit the belt on. Oh yeah, I said that at the beginning. But this cape is made so well. It's really satinly. It's double lined. So there's going to be parts on the new She-Ra Barbie, the official Barbie, that's going to look so much better. But you got to admit that this outfit looks amazing, and it looks amazing on her. And the fact that this pleathery material is a bit stretchy with the inset gemstone on it. I also noticed that I put a little piece of oh, there we go. This fell out too, as when I took this out of my box. So over time of just this sitting in one of these totes in my on a shelf in my toy room, I just took this out today and the gem fell off, but I put a little piece of white. I'll probably glue it together, but that's just that's kind of sad. But again, vac metal glue isn't going to stick to vac metal very easily. But it is a great piece, and the design is fantastic. But I always definitely prefer the stuff done. Here's a Wonder Woman shield done in this kind of silver. So I mean, it doesn't sparkle like it should, but this is why I love playline stuff so much, and I like to mix and match the best playline stuff available. Like I can make my own She-Ra, and in fact I have over time. I remember doing it in the past and putting pictures up on Instagram where I mixed and matched the stuff that I had to make a She-Ra, a simple white dress, use some of this gold armor. These boots could totally work as She-Ra boots. I totally forgot that I swapped out the lower arms and the lower legs on this doll, which this is one of my favorite heads, but I don't really like how stubby she looks in comparison. Not that you could probably tell. Oh, yeah, you can tell when I put her up next to one another, but I can notice it. So I definitely have to put her head back on a normal body. But it was interesting for me to swap out these thighs. Like, I've been heating some stuff up recently and mixing and matching some parts. So I was able to stick the Wild Hearts crew bottom thighs, shins, into it, and then she could wear she could wear Disney shoes, because Wild Hearts crew does have Disney shoes, and she can wear Creatable World shoes, and what else, and maybe some of the curvy or tall Barbie shoes, and that was something that was lacking. And then also the feet aren't too small, like the Barbie feet that drive me crazy that are too small. But sometimes I can see it as a 1960s stylish way when it looks a little 1960s, but I think mixed with the blocky body of today and the spindly thin arms, which we don't have to do anymore because they did that originally so that you could put thick, realistic human material fabrics on dolls. But now, because we have such thinner material and technology to make materials thinner, which sometimes makes them bad quality, or quality that's people don't like, but I mean, it's realistic. When you shrink something down to 1/6 scale, you have to shrink down its thickness too, so material definitely has to get thinner. That's something that I've talked about draping things on hangers. When you're hanging a doll close up, look at gravity doesn't work the same because it's such small scale, and our gravity pulls our clothes down on the hanger, but this is just sticking straight out, looking kind of funny on a hanger, hanging on a garment rack. So that's another struggle. So I think I actually did say, oddly, everything that I wanted to say, but I can show you some of the other things that I have. So this is, which I probably should be pulling out, this is one of the superhero dolls. This is Mira. So I did buy these mostly just to get their shoes, to get more WWE body shoes, because they did make them the same. But even these dolls don't have the same amount of articulation as the WWE. So just the unarticulated wrist and the closed hand. I mean, the closed hand can come in handy, and this is a very nice designed hand. It's probably nicer than the WWE hands because it's not as veiny. It's not as big and clunky. It's got more of an elegant, you know what, it's probably based on exactly the same hand. It's not that different, but we need that added articulation. It's hard. So I have actually, this is a good segue. I guess I can show you some of these are some of the bodies from the Wonder Woman, and then here are some of the Wonder Womans that I've kept. Look, I've even got these extra, these arm bracers. They could definitely look good and be used with She-Ra. But yeah, there's definitely a crossover between She-Ra and Wonder Woman, but I don't like the missing wrist articulation. So I have taken some of their heads and I'll show you. Look, but we did get some interesting dresses and stuff. However, unfinished edges, this is an example of that thin material, but this isn't a good example because unfinished edges and it's super costumey polyester. However, it does look pretty good. I'm not a fan of unfinished edges though. You could make it look a little more silky, a little more expensive if you at least finish the edge, but there's no way to do it. And yeah, I understand why they don't, because if you did, you'd still show the unfinished edge. You'd have to double layer it, and then that would make it thicker, so what's the point of it? But they draped it really nicely. And then, look, and the printed on detail on ones like this, which nobody likes, but it does work as an action figure. So, in some instances for those, the movie She-Ra, that was something that I've been wanting to talk about that for a long time. The cartoon, the Netflix, not the movie, but the Netflix series She-Ra, I think it was on this body, and it's really strange that I don't like this. This was DC Superhero Girls, and by all arguments, this should be a body that I like, but for some reason I find it clunky and awkward. And I love my big-headed dolls. We're going to get back to her. I'm going to do this at the end of the video. Because I'm going to, well, can I show you here? Yeah, I don't mind a big-headed doll. This is one of my favorite finds. We've got a curvy-sized foot on this Bo Peep body. I had to take off her hair to make her into an action figure. But look at those weird proportions. This was a thrift find. She has curvy legs, 100% curvy, made to move legs, which is so cool. So this is such a weird hybrid. It looks like an action doll that I would put together, because she can wear a lot of the Barbie shoes, especially from the new Barbie Basics. So I'm so happy to have her, but she can't wear all of them because she doesn't have the normal sized foot. I might have to take a normal sized Barbie foot and swap it with this one so she can be the foot model and she can always wear anybody's shoes. That's actually an option that I might consider if the peg is the same size on the curvy foot as the... I don't know why they don't do that more. I don't know why they didn't do that. I talked about this with the Barbie Basics set. I don't know why they didn't give all of the dolls the same size foot so that every shoe could be interchanged with them. Like there has to be a reason why they didn't do that. Anyway, this is a new favorite mashup, but you can see she also has a big head, which I like that, and that's why I like the Wild Hearts crews. They're kind of more cartoony and stuff. Look, I have these Cave Club ones that I really like, and I've got these. This is a Hasbro head on a WWE body, which I like this mashup too. I always bring out the Raya for her for AAPI month, which was in May. So I love those. We got to look at Sisu. We got to look at Sisu because she's got some of the best hair that I like. She's got troll hair, and I think her hair always looks good. So she's one of the only dolls with hair that I like to play with. All right, so let me put those out of the way and get back to the Wonder Woman ones, where I didn't like their arms so much, so I put them on WWE bodies, which they were pretty much exactly the same, except they had the added wrist articulation and they had more normal looking hands. You didn't have a doll always walking around with a closed fist, which kind of looks funny. A hand like this is much easier to pose, even though it's a substantial sized hand and a substantial sized forearm. So yeah, not perfect, but you can see that is a Wonder Woman. And I was looking at these today before I made this video, and I was looking for what I wanted to talk about, and I remember thinking how beautiful I thought this doll was. And I didn't think that this one was, like, this is supposed to be the same actress, I believe. I think this is their second attempt at making her, or the second movie. But the head's a bit bigger, again. and I thought that that doll was so pretty, but maybe there's been a lot of prettier dolls since. I thought her mother was the most pretty. She still does look good. I do struggle with the hair though. So do I make her completely bald? And then there's Over the Moon. I forgot about her. And I guess I don't keep her with my Disney big heads. So you can see that sometimes I like big heads. And then before we get back to this big head, and I have to see what the difference is, I guess I'll keep her out. Why don't I like this body? Why do I find this doll looking so awkward? They did change it afterwards, and I do have some of the new superhero ones, and I don't think I really like them because of their lack of articulation, because they don't have as much. This is the only WWE head that I actually kept saved. Is it Naomi? No, Naomi's the dark complected girl. I forget this girl's name right now. I'm having a brain fart. But this was the only face that I like. Again, the hair kind of bothered me, but I tried many different. This is ridiculous. Whatever I have wrapped on her head. I guess it's from Barbie Extra. I tried so many ways to control her hair, and I did it just takes so much time, which I don't have time for. And then there's this Kristen Wiig, which I would have to say, if I had to choose my favorite actress of all time, it would probably be Kristen Wiig. I love her black comedies, and she's hilarious, and she's such a good actress, and she's so funny. The likeness isn't very good. The hair quality is horrendous, so I do have it in a ponytail. Maybe I have to shave her head so I enjoy her more. And then I always say this about my shaved head dolls: why keep the hair bad anyway? If there's ever a time, it wouldn't be like ruining the doll. It would be like an opportunity to reroute it if I ever changed my stance on bald dolls. But I think I'm gonna shave her head like I did with. Let's go back to this box, which this is a Hasbro doll. And what did Captain America, is that? Whatever her name is, caused lots of controversial. This is a pretty cool body. Actually, it's got some made-to-move features, but look at Hasbro making me doubt Mattel's abilities, because look at the streamlined knee is so much better than the robotic made-to-move. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the thickness of it, but then again, just what was that other one? It was the other Mattel doll, but they had double jointed knees and only the single jointed elbow for the Bo Peep Mattel doll. This is a Hasbro doll, and the hands are kind of similar, a little smaller. The forearms are thick, but they're not too thick, and they're not too muscular. So this is a pretty good one. I did have to shave her head for me to enjoy it. Unfortunately, her joints are a bit loose. I don't know if it's because she's thrifted and some kid played with her too much, or it's just how she is. She does not have ankle articulation, which I don't seem to. Oh, she does fit the WWE shoes too, which is crazy, because I guess her feet are a bit smaller, but she fits into their shoes very, very well. She didn't come with any shoes, so I don't even know if her shoes fit on my WWE bodies. But she's cool, and it's an interesting doll buck to have. And where was I going? Oh, I guess the next thing to do is, I was gonna do this before. Brian and Veronica gave me this one. I do have some box versions. I know that I have her boxed as well, but this is a good way for me to say, am I going to sell all of the ones that I have? I can finally, which I haven't even really examined, what's the difference between this Mattel body and the WWE bodies when I know that they're so similar. So as I was saying before, this is the doll body, as far as I remember correctly, that they gave to She-Ra. So when they put out a She-Ra doll line by Mattel, not Barbie, just their own entity, the one boy doll had a BTS body, or very similar to a Monster High body. So the BTS dolls that Mattel made had they had Monster High bodies, kind of cross between Ever After High and Monster High. It was kind of their own entity, but they gave that body to Bo, or one that's like more similar than Monster High or Ever After High. It's pretty much the same body. But this body, I'm pretty sure, which was taller than all of the other dolls in that line, and I can't remember what kind of body they had. I guess they had all different bodies because there's body diversity in that series. But this, why? The reason I don't like it is because of this thin torso. It's not a doll that can wear Barbie clothes, which is kind of important to me. I mean, she could probably fit into some, but you can see that her shoulders are not as broad as a standard Barbie. Their clothes are pretty interchangeable. You can see that Barbie, I don't know if you can, but you can see that she has a smaller chest, but Barbie has a thicker, broader back. So usually it plays out the same. Barbie also has a more boxier body. The Brooklyn Made to Move, and maybe even the superhero body, has a more boxy body than these. But these are just muscular and curvy. It's why I like them. I like the amount of articulation. It doesn't take away and make them look robotic, or it's really cool. And sometimes, because the bodies are so much thicker, that these bigger heads that I like do look good on them. But I think that is why, because we're getting into Monster High territory here, where I don't hate it, but it's just, I've got the Monster High. Like, I could probably shave her head and turn her into an alien, but I have those. I have the Create a Monster dolls, that some of my favorite dolls ever made, the Create a Monster ones, and they have really thin, extra thin, spindly legs, but they look like aliens. So they're like playing with alien dolls with all different weird heads, and the same would be said for this. So maybe I'll unroot her hair and turn her into an alien, but the thing is, I have an ice monster that looks pretty much exactly the same as this, so there's no real point in doing that. But there's nothing wrong with this body. It's really kind of cool, actually, and maybe I should experiment with putting more clothes on it. I also think that the legs are bigger, and am I mistaken thinking that they're taller and more awkward? Do they have the same size feet? Their feet are even bigger. Their calves are even longer. Yeah. So they are bigger and more awkward, which is why. And I'm not a big 14-inch doll fan either. One of the biggest problems I have which is, again, what I base this creation on, has probably a lot of influence from the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman dolls of the 1970s. They are so cool, and there were robots and fembots, and the Maskatron, where they could face plates that could be matched up. Again, Monster High has that with the Create a Monster sets, so that's why I love my Create a Monster sets. We'll have to do that in October. We'll have to revisit my Create a Monster set. But I've made mashups with my Cave Club slate dolls and used the extra Monster High heads and made godly monsters. That stuff is on this channel, which I talked about that because it's some of my favorite mashups. But that's the kind of crazy stuff that I'm in. Oh, and also those Create a Monster heads don't have hair on them. They came with wigs, Mattel wigs well, not the first Mattel wigs, but they did a really good job making those wigs. Actually, they're pretty good. But I have to say that this body is pretty cool, but it is awkward because the legs are so thick and long. Like, these are the thickest legs we have. They're thicker than my WWE, muscular, and the feet are bigger, so much long. And then we've got these tiny Monster High waists, like tinier than any other doll. Where's the She-Ra one? So why I'm looking at this. So I'm going through all this. I'm talking about this process together to decide whether I'm going to buy. Look, you can see how she is so ridiculously busty. Like, she's like she's like fanboy busty, like anime, trying like going after that that perverted boy or man, way too old man demographic. But that is what's going on there. So that's kind of disproportionate. But you can see how thin both of their waists are, and she's even thinner. So there's this alien appeal to it, this robotic alien creature appeal. And I like the color of the skin too. But again, I've got many Monster High dolls that have like weird colored skin, and so I guess I am going to sell the other ones. I don't know if they're worth anything. And also the bum is so much smaller than, I mean, look how she's tall and awkward, and then tiny, and then big head. I mean, I'm going back and forth there. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. Again, I have things that I have dolls that I like better than this, and I guess I do feel it's just an awkward size. It's huge. I do regret not getting the whole She-Ra collection on my Too Hunky channel. I did do a review of I think most of the She-Ra DreamWorks. No, it wasn't DreamWorks. It was She-Ra. Wait, was it DreamWorks? Like it couldn't have been. Anyway, I'm having another brain fart. It couldn't have been like DreamWorks Dragons. Actually, I think it was. I don't remember. Anyway, it was a really good cartoon. Very politically correct. For this time period, they had to change everything and make everything all politically correct. But they kind of did it good. They kind of did it in a good way, I guess. If you have to do it. Yeah, we won't get into the politics right now. I liked it. It was pretty good. I don't know if I even finished watching the whole thing. Maybe I should try that. It was good. It was good. It was the She-Ra story, because it's rebellion. It's always been a good story because it's the good people are the people, the underdogs, which doesn't happen very often. It's just an interesting scenario. I mean, maybe it happens all the time. I'm getting political again. I think by this dismantling, I think I've decided that, yes, I might even buy 2 of those She-Ra dolls. One to play with and one to keep and sell later. Maybe am I a scalper, or maybe I need one because, yeah, very, very important. So many things that are important about getting that collection. It's a Barbie. It's a Masters of the Universe. It's a Mattel anniversary. It's a She-Ra anniversary. So yeah, it's a big important release. And then those other things, yeah. These are the times where, I wonder if Mattel's going to send out a press pass, a PR box of or did they do that already? I should look, of all of the Mattel 80th anniversary things, because man, I don't know. I've been doing this for 10 years, but I suck at it, so never did reach the numbers that you wanna. I mean, they sent me some Monster High dolls before, so that's true. But they've got new PR, and they like the young, politically correct kids of today. And my numbers are bad, and especially I had to, yeah. I guess we're at the end of the video. Nobody's watching this part now, so I can talk about YouTubing. You gotta specialize if you want to have a YouTube channel. And which is why I had to create this new channel, because it's bad. But even I love the baby toys and doing Masters of the Universe, they play off each other really, really bad. Too Hunky Toys basically has to be just a Mr. Potato Head channel. That's what all of the YouTube advice says. You find the one video that takes off for you, and my Mr. Potato Head videos are like they go crazy viral. So I guess Two Hunky Toys is a Mr. Potato Head channel, but I do this because I like it and I don't compromise and I say things obviously that I shouldn't say. I'm opinionated about what I like and I mash up what I like and it's not what anybody else likes. So I just do my own thing and you can't do your own thing. But you're supposed to be able to do your own thing. That's the weirdest part about. That's what they say. Be yourself. Do your own thing, and people will like that. But my own thing is too weird. Anyway, so I talked myself into getting the She-Ra Barbie like made for me, just like the Barbie basics were made for me. Bald dolls that came with mix and match black fashions. I could not get the complete collection. I have to get this Barbie. Let's hope. I'm really interested in seeing the body, the superhero body. So that's really cool. Maybe I'll like this. Maybe she'll be able to be the doll that can wear all of the shoes. Will I take off her head and give her a bald head? Will I shave her head? I think I'm definitely going to take off the head. However, I'm also worried about that doll being playline. Like I was talking about with the elastic, the legs are attached with the elastic band, which is also very 1980s Masters of the Universe, which is cool. But still, it takes away from the articulation ability and the posability when they have that. It doesn't work very well for posing. So that's going to be interesting to see too. And I think I might have to get a Maid to Move Brooklyn, which she's very inexpensive. And something that I'm also really excited about, which is Playline is what I like the most. Like I talked about not having the vac metal, having the stuff like this. It's just much more durable and fun to play with for me. Less paint deco, looks more like a toy. It's kind of so that's what I like to do. Where and why was I talking about this? Because I don't know. I've spoken way too much. Thank you so much for joining me and letting me brainstorm and seeing a few more of my weird collection and realizing that, oh yeah, I should have had her out for AAPI month and used her because this is kind of a cool doll, but she gets lost in the mix. And then this one I don't really like, but she came, I just got her for her shoes because her crazy dress and stuff, and I took her hair out. And yeah, I'm glad you got to see some of these other weird things. You can probably see more about them where I probably talk more cohesively, but not really. But on the Two Hunky channel, I would have reviewed all of these things separately, and then some reviews on this channel too. But I am looking forward to getting lots more dolls. Oh, I know what I was talking about. Look, we're not done yet. The Beach, I don't even know what it's called. I can't give you a direct name. Mystery Beach Detectives. Barbie Mystery Beach Detectives. Crazy line. I like all of the clothes. I need to get the whole set. Maybe the Dune Buggy, even though the Dune Buggy is large and takes up too much space, and it's $50 right now, but it'll probably go on sale. It would be probably good for Slate to drive around in. Oh, and the cotton candy set. I don't need the cotton candy set, which I don't even understand why that's in a beach detective set. I'm excited to get all of those, it doesn't make much sense because there's just a general play line and I'm just going to steal their clothes and use them as fashion packs. Anyway, thank you. I'd love to hear what the weird dolls that you like that you shouldn't like down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time.